Shalom Yasharallah. First and foremost, I want to say all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Racha HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of the house of David. Salutations to you brothers throughout the four corners of the earth, teaching us truth and righteousness and sincerity. To you Israelite foreigners, come back home to the truth. To those that passed on, serving the Lord, the dead in Yahweh Shai shall arise first. To you sisters who believe, keep encouraging and supporting your brothers who are here teaching this truth, and always commemorate the sister who washed Yahweh Shai feet when you read the scriptures. All right. I wanted to talk to y'all about this, about the way things are going with these people like Chud the Builder, Jake Lang, you know, countless fucking crackers on social media. And the crazy part about it, to me, is these are the way they're conducting themselves shows you why at one point Israelites were kind of Black Panther-ish, super militant. Because we got to take this shit serious. All right, we're in a time where Caucasians have reverted to the version of themselves that aren't hiding it anymore. Half of them are hiding it. I mean, Democrats have always hid their racism. Democrats have always hid their racism well. So well that they have actually fooled intelligent black people and Hispanic people into thinking that they have our best interests at heart. They really have fooled a lot of black and brown people. Republicans don't give a fuck. See, I'm gonna say this. The leaders, the top, like the Trumps and all of them, the Charlie Kirks, they were very articulate with their racism. Believe even Trump. Articulate because he's always very deliberate. They'll say racist shit, but they won't. They'll hide it. You know what I mean? They'll be slick with it. Now, Jake Lang, with what he recently did at BET, I gotta be honest with you. Let's look at it from a morals perspective, and this is why a lot of Republicans kind of win a lot of us over. Is you have black and brown people that are like, fuck morals, let's fucking have a free-for-all and fuck bitches, get money and all that shit. Then you got people like us, you know, a lot of Hebrew Israelites, a lot of people that are really like, yo, life is supposed to be with order, structure. So when he said black parents are failures or something to that effect, he's not totally wrong. The BET Awards, I gotta be honest with you. You ever notice that the most disgusting, despicable black and brown people are the ones that get propped up the most in this society? They're creating a cycle of bad parenting. Because what is good parenting, right? What does good parenting do? You reward good behavior. What does BET do? What do the Democrats do to black people? Reward bad behavior. Hey, you want to be a bum and fucking live off of welfare? Here's government programs to do all types of, you know, to get money for doing stupid shit or not, you know what I mean? Or just to stay home, just to fucking stay home and watch TV. Here's a fucking check. But, you know, go ahead and be unproductive. That's what life is about to Edomites. I mean, to a good portion of so-called black and brown people. And then you got those of us that believe in working, that believe in doing what you have to do to get things done for yourself. So you have, you know, all black and brown people are not the same. All white people ain't good parents. I don't know where the fuck y'all get that shit from. That fucking guy, Metcalf, that kid Metcalf's father, I seen him speak. I don't think he's a good guy at all. I think he's a fucking scumbag. But I will tell you, a lot of these fucking conservatives and Republicans, they are telling us the truth to our faces. A lot of the shit that, but the problem is they're presenting it in a way where they're trying to get us angry. That's what the problem is that I got with people like Jake Lang. Don't call us chimps and fucking say niggas is chimping out and throw out the N-word. Tell us, hey, listen, y'all have so much. If they came at us and said, y'all have so much potential, if y'all would stop this fuckery, y'all are being used by the Democrat Party to stay in power and to keep y'all docile. If Jake Lang came at us that way, but he doesn't. He comes, chimping out, throwing out the N-word, walking around with guns. I dare somebody. Chud the Builder did that. I don't know if Jake Lang quite did that. Jake Lang is a fucking terrorist, man. But you know who's on the government list as a terrorist? Me. All I'm doing is teaching the word of God. If all black and brown people and all Israelite foreigners followed what we preached, they would fix America's problems overnight. They would fix all the crime that we do, so y'all could see that y'all do just as much crime. White people I'm talking about. If all black and Latino people listen to the Hebrew Israelites and Native Americans, one thing you won't have is a problem from black people. You won't have us on welfare. You know, you may have a few that really do need it. Matter of fact, you know, just like with anything, you have older parents. I'm pretty sure, yeah, my parents get food stamps. You know, my parents worked all their damn lives. You know what I mean? But the way this society is set up, the way life is set up, it's set up where our people are always going to be at the bottom in this setup. Even if we had a strong black nation must rise type shit, even if we did stick together, they'll be against us. Because ultimately, this is part of why Jake Lang does not want to fix what's wrong with black and brown people. That's why he comes with the hatred and the jokes, making fun of us. And y'all have to look at it like that. Back in the day, the Klan, they talk shit about black people. They might throw a few jokes in there. This guy is pure fucking mockery. Jake Lang is pure fucking mockery. He's all, from beginning to end. You know, yeah, he'll say true shit. You know, but a lot of the shit that he's saying is just fucking making fun of us. A lot of what he's saying is just for entertainment. Just like Chud the Builder. Those motherfuckers don't give a fuck about you. They'll point out the problems with black and brown people, but they're not trying to get us to fix our own problems. They're just making millions off of YouTube, making fun of our problems, making fun of the shit that we do, that we go through. You know, they go around saying, oh yeah, black people, you know, this racism don't. Somebody, I know a nigga who said, the way you get rid of racism is by not talking about it. Okay. Let's say we don't talk about racism. Is it really gonna stop the fucking discrimination? When we got people that are racist against themselves? Racism ain't going nowhere. Everybody's gonna prefer their own. You know how you know racism ain't going nowhere? Let it be a fucking boxing match or an MMA match between a black brother or a Mexican and an Eastern European. You'll see how motherfuckers stick with their tribe then and there. Black people will say, will cheer for the Mexican or the black brother. White people, universally, I don't give a fuck if you're one of them countries that's beefing with Eastern Europeans. You're rooting for an Eastern European that day. Some big brolic motherfucker from some country that ends in stan. a white motherfucker who's Muslim, but just a fucking savage. You know? Racism ain't going nowhere. What we have to do is a people, Israelites, we have to harness racism. We have to actually not get in each other's way. But we're not going to do that. like there's ways we can counter what's going on, but it's not going to come to fruition, because at the end of the day, no matter what we do, we're cursed in this society. There's going to be division. Proof of the fact that there's always going to be division is that there is no unity among Israelites. Now here we are telling the world, come together. Here we are telling the world, these groups of people that you call Hispanic, Black, and Native American, these are the Israelites of the Bible. Here we are telling y'all that, but we fight amongst each other. I mean, do I need to remind y'all of all those years of the fucking ICGJC bullying camps because they're pussies and they come in big numbers? Do we have to remind you of the fights between different camps? You know, this shit ain't going nowhere in Babylon. We're gonna have these problems among black and brown people, Israelites. We're gonna have these fucking problems, unfortunately. They ain't going no fucking where. Everywhere you're gonna get black and brown people that just don't like each other. Oh, he's too nice. He must be fake. Oh no, he's always saying something. He's always got a problem with something. You know, that's the shit that we thinking. We don't get rid of the nigga mentality. If you're about to fucking complain about somebody and your sentence starts with he always, it's not necessarily that you're wrong, but it's an indication that you might be the one with the problem. Because people are going to be consistent. You probably always do something that pisses somebody else off. That's why I try to not be the angry brother. I try to, I get angry. I'm always angry. But you don't know it. You can't tell I'm angry. I try not to show it. If I ever cried, anytime that I've ever cried, I'm usually crying because I'm angry, not because I'm sad, I'm depressed. No, I'm fucking angry. I want to fuck somebody up and I can't because I know that there's fucking police officers that are going to come get me and throw me in a fucking cell. And then an assault charge is going to be on my fucking jacket. And then there goes every other part of my life. Won't be able to see my daughter, won't have a job to buy my daughter anything, on top of other things. Won't be around the brothers. I'll be doing the work in prison once I get accustomed. Last time I got locked up, I didn't even get a chance to get comfortable. I spoke about the truth, but it wasn't like camp and behind bars, you know what I mean? Because I just didn't get a chance. But we have to understand. We have to understand what we're fighting with here. We're fighting against each other because we are cursed. We are a cursed people right now. Curse hasn't been lifted. You think because you come in the truth that you're going to automatically love every Israelite? I felt that way. Man, listen. I didn't give a flying fuck what you taught at one point. If you was out there in the streets pushing the truth, your doctrine was at least a good percentage close to mine. Yo. You know what I mean? I'm glad to see you. And even now, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm glad to see, like if I see IUIC, ICGJC, I'm glad that there's Israelites out there waking our people up to something. And we're just gonna have to do Mariano Rivera and just come in and clean all that up. That's all. I believe, listen, at least do the dirty work. Do the dirty work. These camps that are out here teaching all these doctrines, all they're doing is teaching people basics, right? That's all. They're teaching our people, okay, you're an Israelite. This is how you prove it. Christ was black. Keep the law, statutes, and commandments. You know, let's have this big fucking elaborate Passover. Cool. You're learning. You're still learning your culture. So I'm not angry with all these camps, because whoever's supposed to finally get it, the full doctrine, they'll get it. Whoever's meant, it'll be meant for them. That's it. I'm not mad at these other camps, because, like I said, at least they're teaching. They're teaching closer to the truth, and all the ones out of those people that are coming into these camps, all they got to learn is a few tweaks to what they're saying. You know, so understand that the CHIP is the MOTB. Y'all not being taught that in these other camps, but that's what it is. Understand that definitely these other nations are your enemies, but understand that there are people walking around calling themselves white, thinking that they're white, thinking that they're Chinese, thinking that they're Arabic, thinking that they're continental Africans, and they're not. They're Israelites. They're descendant of Israelites. Understand that. So don't just curse out a person just because they say they white. You know what else? The Sabbath is off the new moon. I mean, it's pretty obvious. When I started believing it, what made me believe in it was realizing that we're going according to a fucking calendar. Like, how stupid can I be? All them years I was in the truth believing that the new moon was Friday, sundown, Saturday, sundown. It's just Friday, sundown, Saturday, sundown. What's the sixth day of the week in this? Okay, what's the seventh? Okay, that's the Sabbath. Not realizing, yo, I'm going according to a fucking calendar, not what's in the sky. It's easy once you realize that. How do an ancient people that don't have a calendar? The calendar has changed over the years. So how do an ancient people that don't have no calendar understand what time, what day they're in? You know what I mean? I know I'm going across a lot of subjects here. I started out talking about Jake Lang and Chud the Builder and all the fucking hatred, and not even just hatred, the jokes. These guys aren't, like I said, they're not fucking educating us, uplifting us. They're putting us down. They're calling us monkeys. They're calling us the N-word. They're not here to fucking fix what black and brown people are doing wrong. They're here to make fun of it and make money off of it on fucking YouTube. That's it. They're not your friend. For those of you black conservatives, Jake Lang ain't your friend. I'll never forget. It's a funny fucking video where Donald Trump is with a few senators, I guess, and one of them is Tim Scott, black dude from one of the Carolinas. And that motherfucker fucking goes to shake Donald Trump's hand. Donald Trump ignores his ass. Like 2 or 3 times. The motherfucker, and then the funny part is when they show a video of Tim Scott smiling and shit. He got what my baby mother's family, because they're Dominican, so they speak French. They call it dasui teeth, basically mouse teeth. That shit was funny. You know what I'm saying? He got the little fucking big gums and little teeth. That shit is funny as hell, man. You gotta admit. You gotta admit it's funny. But anyway, with that, I'm gonna say shalom to Israel, and please, you know, this isn't really for Israelites, because we don't generally do this, but stop embarrassing us in public. Stop saying dumb shit in front of white people. Keep your fucking mouth closed. The Bible tells you a dumb motherfucker looks smart when he's quiet. The Bible tell you that. That's why I got a close friend, right? Talks a whole fucking lot. Complains that I don't speak enough. You know, we go to these different places, you know, hanging out with people and shit. I thought, yo, you're always quiet. You don't say shit. I only really talk when I'm drunk, honestly. And that's why I just do most of my drinking at home. But there's nothing to talk about for me. I don't, you know, I don't have nothing to say. I really don't. You know, even a dumb motherfucker is thought of as smart because he's quiet. There's a mystique about a quiet motherfucker. People want you to speak when you're quiet, actually. I've noticed that shit. Oh, why you not saying nothing? Because I don't fucking know you. I don't say that, but you know what I'm saying? Like that really is my response in my mind. If somebody says, why are you not saying nothing? Why are you so quiet? Because I don't fucking know you. You know? But anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom and much love to the nation. And, you know, like I said, man, please, you know, start following the Bible. Because trust and believe, even the most evil person will improve their life just by following the principles in the Bible. I'm going to tell y'all, there was a time when I didn't believe in the Bible. I thought the Bible was Esau's book. And I started believing without realizing what I was doing. You know, I was already not eating pork. I was already not eating pork. You know, a couple tweaks that I made because I was into different doctrines that also taught against eating pork. I was too poor to eat fucking seafood anyway. And then I started actually, you know, coming to class, you know, when they had the school at 12 William Street in Newark. And I learned, you know, and I didn't go there with the purpose of learning. I went there with I went there with the purpose of learning, but not to follow, but just to say I know the Bible. You know, because I wasn't going to the Christian church. I knew they didn't know shit. So I was like, yo, you know what? I'm going to learn the Quran, the Bible, and the Torah. And I went to the Israelite church. Never went to learn anything else after that, unless it was for the sake of the truth. You know, so I never wanted to learn. At that point, I gave up saying, oh, I want to learn the Quran. And then I had one time I had a conversation with Elder Tazaiwan, who is, you know, formerly of DTA, Men of Valor. You know, I don't know if he's going to start DTA back up. But, you know, he's out there doing the work, you know, with his group of brothers. I remember I had a conversation with him about the Quran, and he pointed out, in less than half an hour, he pointed out so many inconsistencies that honestly, I mean, I had been not wanting to learn the Quran, but it just goes to show. The Quran would have never been, you know, my original plan would have gotten foiled the minute that I learned that shit. You know, but, you know, like I said, man, you know, shalom and much love to y'all. And please, you know, repent. You know, and all praises be to Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rachak Wadash. Shalom.